Blessing. Good afternoon to each and every one. Indeed, it's always my privilege to welcome you to Facts, Not Fiction. And of course, today being Tuesday is just as good as any other Tuesday where we together would disseminate the information that is beforehand. So I want to welcome you locally, regionally, and internationally to this afternoon proceedings. Today, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring to you as my springboard this afternoon a young lady, a member of parliament for the constituency of Moruga, Tableland. This young lady, ladies and gentlemen, is none other than Michelle Benjamin. I saw quite recently that the people of that constituency exercise their rights in relation to a protest as a result of deplorable road condition. During that, ladies and gentlemen, I saw the Member of Parliament, Michelle Benjamin, out and about with her constituents. I saw this young lady also being cautioned by police officers in relation to the said protests. I also saw the Minister of Works and Transport put out in a statement that the cost of the damages that was done as a result of the protest action was somewhere within $300,000+. I also saw, ladies and gentlemen, that a very unprecedented action took place. In that, I also am aware that what appears to be police officers enter in the premises of individuals looking for video footage in order to bring about charges as a result of the influence of the Minister of Works and Transport. You know, in school, we had a saying that what good for the goose, also good for the gander. And I have seen in this country a number of fiery protests in constituencies that is not occupied by any UNC member of parliament. I have never seen at one particular instant that the Minister of Works and Transport or any other minister, as a matter of fact, make any threats, send any police officers to search anybody's homes, to find video footage of those who may be responsible for those fiery protest action. A matter of fact, if you are to examine areas like the Beatum, you would see that there are a number of street cameras in strategic places, but you never hear one day that the minister or any other minister advise the police to go in to those areas. A matter of fact, some of those cameras, they are controlled by the command center. So they don't have to go nowhere to look for any evidence. They have it in front of their face. And not one day, ladies and gentlemen, you ever hear that any government minister under this regime have sent police officers to search the houses of individuals to get any kind of footage to deal with the perpetrators who may have committed those acts. Rohan Sinanan, what is the difference between Barapur, Moruga, Tableland, Penal, and Lavanti, Sealots, Beatum? What's the difference, Minister? What's the difference? You see, there's a passage of scripture that said, be sure that your sins will find you out. And we have seen the sins of this PNM government continue to find them out in every aspect of governance in this country. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to salute, I want to lift up, I want to exalt a young MP, a young member of parliament who stands strong with her people in representing and bringing forth the type of representation that is needed under this PNM crooked, wicked, racial government. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to salute Michelle Benjamin this afternoon. I want to tell Michelle to continue your work, continue your struggle, and fight for your constituency. Fight like you have never fought before in order to bring forth equity, equality, and justice for the people of Tableland, Moruga. I tell you this afternoon, I want to say to Rohan Sinanan, if you were doing your job, Rohan Sinanan, Michelle Benjamin would not have to be on the front line standing with a constituency protesting for bad roads, bad drainage, bad river courses, bad everything under your ministry, Rohan Sinanan. You are a failure. And what you should do, Rohan Sinanan, is to invite the police officers to tell us or to investigate why you had to put an interchange in Curep, which you had allegedly pay yourself for your land where the interchange is now situated. We must have the police officers to investigate why Rohan Sinanan had to recuse himself so many times from cabinet meeting. That is what is needed to be investigated at this point in time. You see, when you have cocoa in sun, don't look for rain. Don't look for rain. You know why? The long time people used to say, when you have cocoa in sun, you have to look for rain. But I am saying to you, when you have cocoa in sun, don't look for rain. You see, if you're in look for rain and rainfall, nobody would make you out. Nobody would make you out. But do not pelt stone when you know you have glass window, because that stone might footy well break the glasses and damage your eyes. So you will not be able to see dollars and you may not have sense. So Michelle Benjamin, hats off to you. Continue your fight. Continue your struggle. Stand up and fight for your people. So as we continue it, today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring something to your attention. Something that I do not believe that you are aware of. We understand that the Attorney General, Faris Alwari, Mr. Recusal, who had to recuse himself umpteen times because they were dealing in the cabinet with matters pertaining to his interests. We understand that the government that Faris Alwari belongs to is also renting buildings belonging to Faris and his family. We are also aware that the government outfitted the said building with millions of taxpayers' money, even while they are rented the same building from Faris' family. Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you that the government of Trinidad and Tobago is also, through UDICOT, spending millions of dollars in contracts to maintain and to look over the buildings that they are renting from Faris Alwari family. UDICOT is responsible for millions upon millions of dollars in maintenance contract in relation to the said buildings that the government is renting. So here what is happening. They are renting the building. They pay and outfit the building. And now there is millions of dollars in contract outside for contractors to manage, to repair, and to keep in order the buildings that they are renting from Faris Alwari and his family. Ladies and gentlemen, you understand what is happening in this country? We rent a building, we outfit the building, and now we are paying millions of dollars in contract through UDICOT to maintain Faris Alwari and his family buildings. What is really happening in this country? What is going on in this country? I want Beckers to tell us what is happening with Udicott. Because, ladies and gentlemen, while you cannot get a plate of food, while you cannot pay your rent, while you cannot pay your bills, while they bring in property tax on you, while your children cannot get a device, the government rent, outfit, and now maintaining through contracts with Udicott the buildings of Faris Alwari and his family. How much nepotism would you support in this country? How much more would you take? How much more, ladies and gentlemen, you will allow this government to distribute the wealth, the savings of this country to their friends, families, and their financiers? Ladies and gentlemen, I am saying to you that the level of corruption within this PNM government, it is a level that we have never ever seen in the history of governance in this country. We have never seen this level of corruption. Soak that in. Great is all your PNM. Soak that in. Great is Faris Alwari. Soak that in. Great is Stuart Young. Soak that in. Great is Rohan Sinanan. Soak that in. Great is Colin Imbert. Soak that in. Great is Keith Rowley. Soak that in. The rest of them is none and void. But we will come to that in a little bit. So this is what is happening with taxpayers' money. While you cannot get a food to eat when the day comes, there are those who plates and cup continue to overflow. And hear what is sad about it, ladies and gentlemen. Not even the droppings, the scrapings from those fellas' plate you will ever see in your lifetime. That is how sad it is. But let's move on. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have witnessed an unprecedented situation in our parliament, in our House of Representatives, in the place that you and I will consider to be the shelter of democracy. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we have seen the Speaker of the House of Representatives conduct and behave in a way that could never, ever be becoming of a Speaker of the House in our country. We have seen the Speaker break every rule, decimates the Constitution, trample upon the democracy, mash up the sacred institution that is referred to as our parliament, the place that make laws for the unborn babies, the place that governs this country, the place, ladies and gentlemen, that should be the protector of our Constitution, the place that should safeguard the democracy of our country, the place where justice, where the Constitution must be the guide. This speaker, ladies and gentlemen, have overturned and suspended the Constitution in one sitting in our parliament, something that we have never ever witnessed before. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now found ourselves in a situation that it's not only between a rock and a hard place, but we have now found ourselves in a situation where every independent institution has now been compromised. We are in a place that is considered to be the most dangerous grounds. We are in a place, ladies and gentlemen, where if we as citizens do not stand against what is happening as a result of this sitting, we will never be able ever again to have our democracy, our constitution, our rights in society to prevail. Ladies and gentlemen, as I walk you through the valley of the shadow of death of the PNM, we better be prepared to stand against this evil. As I walk you through the valley of the shadow of death of this PNM, you better be prepared to stand as you have never stand before in our country. Ladies and gentlemen, we have seen in other countries, we have seen what is called military coups or mutiny. We have seen overthrows of governments. We have seen presidents that have been overthrown by those who they trusted most. We have seen the executions of leaders by those who they have trusted most. Ladies and gentlemen, you have trusted Keith Rowley and this PNM. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we are living and watching and seeing that our democracy and our constitution is in great danger simply because you have trusted Keith Rowley and this PNM. When you look at strategies of many countries that have been overthrown, you will first see, ladies and gentlemen, that the hierarchy within the military will first ensure that he or she plants their trustworthy individuals in strategic places. I want you to follow me. Follow me on this, you know. Follow me on this. You will see that those generals will first plant their lieutenants in strategic places to ensure that the mission accomplished. So they will ensure, this general will ensure that he will place a lieutenant in charge of the armory. You will see that this general will ensure that he places individuals by different military headquarters. This general will ensure that the man that is guarding the president belongs to him. You will realize that because of placing individuals in strategic places, it makes it utmost sure that when the general intends to strike, that he have all these areas covered, ensuring a victory to his overthrow. Compare Trinidad and Tobago. Compare Trinidad and Tobago to that general and that overthrow. So let's compare. When you intend to take ultimate power, when you intend to rule by decree, when you intend to seize it as a result of instituting dictatorial powers, it is the same formula that must be carried out. So you must first take control of the presidency. The dictator must first take control of the president. Why? Because the president is the head of the armed forces. So you must first take control of the president. Take off that. Secondly, you must place your trustworthy ministers in every ministry that would help you to be defiant in your job. It will help you to be assured that you have all these strategic institutions covered. Take that out. You will also have to take charge of the judiciary. So the chief of the judiciary, you must also take control of that individual. Why? that you will have control on those who you need to put in prison, that you will have control to throw out any court action come in defiance of your ideology, that you will be able to dismiss any and every situation that comes through the judiciary that would be able to humbug or affect your plans. So take that off. The next thing you will want to ensure is that you have full control of the EBC. You will want full control of the EBC simply because you need the EBC to remain in power while you put together your dictatorship plan. Because any figures, numbers that comes out of a polling division, it is the EBC, it is the figures of the EBC that matters. It matters not what your agent, he agent, she agent, what figures they bring to you, it matters not. Whatever figures that the EBC bring forth, that is the figures that the country have to accept. So you will take control of the EBC. Take that out. The another thing that you need, you will need to take control of the police service. So you will need a commissioner of police who will go according to your plan. You will need a commissioner of police that you could control, so that you will have whoever you want to be arrested, whoever stands in your way, whoever upset your plans, you will be able to deal with any and every investigation. Investigation that will put you, the dictator, in prison. Investigation that will put your ministers in prison. Investigation that will put your finances in prison. Investigation that will lock up the boards that you put that can't give account for millions upon millions of dollars. You will need a commissioner of police to control, so that you will be able to fulfill your desires. I want to say today, blessed Lord, that there was a commissioner of police like Gary Griffith. It had times I had to rough up Gary. But anytime I rough up Gary is when he didn't want to stand within the parameters of his office. And I am one of the individuals that say a commissioner of police must be prepared to take criticism because it comes with the office. But thank God there was a commissioner as Gary Griffith. A commissioner that you couldn't pull his strings. A commissioner who will stand up against you. A commissioner who will not encourage your wrongdoing. A commissioner that was outspoken. And a commissioner who don't afraid you as the political directorate. And for that, Gary paid a price. That is a sacrifice. That is patriotism. That is a fighter. And that is a man who is afraid to continue fighting. Gary, I in a small bracket, Gary. But guess what? I have a secret to tell you. I have a secret to tell you. And when that time and place reach, I will tell you that secret. Coming back to Mr. Dictator. So once you could control a police commissioner, then your job has now been fulfilled. So ladies and gentlemen, the reason why all these independent institutions is no longer independent is because the dictator has placed his hands, his voice, and his strength within these organizations. And therefore, today, we can no longer have an independent institution in this country except we get rid of the heads of all the aforementioned. To have independency back in our democracy, the president must go. The president must go. To have independency in the judiciary, the Chief Justice must go. To have independent in the Senate, the 9 independent senators must go. To have independence in the EBC, the entire EBC must go. The board must go, have to go. And to have democracy in this country, the PNM must go. The PNM must go. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to the UNC MPs now. I want to talk to the UNC MPs now. What you have witnessed in the parliament today, UNC MPs, I want to say to you today that no longer you will have any voice in that parliament under those conditions. I had some licks for you today, you know. I had some blows for you today. And the blows I had for all you today, UNC MPs, I was using Michelle Benjamin as the flag bearer to ask all you if it's only Moruga, Tableland, Harvard Road. That the blows I was coming with for some all you know. I was coming to ask all you if it's only Tableland, Moruga have bad roads. Because it's only Michelle I seen out there protesting for bad roads. But because the fight, all you fight today, I will ease that pressure up. But listen, I ain't easing up all the pressure because some of all your MP still asleep. Some of all your MP, some of my MP, all you still asleep. And now is the time that all you have to wake up. Some of you sleeping so much that is only when the leader says something, all you act. The time has come where y'all must now be proactive. Don't wait for the leader to talk. The leader take plenty blows for Somalia, you know. The leader take all kind of blows. Some of them, the leader weak. Time for the leader to go. Time this. All kind of blows the leader take because of Somalia. And I am saying that the time has come today that the leader must not get any more blows, because let me tell you something. The leader ain't only put on, she grabs, you know. I swear, from the budget presentation, the response to the budget, I swear that the leader was in Silots looking to fight with Swappy. I swear the leader was down Silots in the boxing competition, because left hook, right hook, left hook, right hook, uppercut, look down, knockout, capside, budget mashup, blows. The leader continued to fight today. The leader allowed the speaker to know that that piece of document is fit for the garbage pan. So I am calling on all you MPs. You know, someone here like to go by the parliament and take out selfie. You know, someone like this big, nice selfie when they're going in with all the jacket and tie, or whatever they're going with. Let me tell you something. Time for all the selfie done. Now it's time to mobilize your constituency. Now it's time to build your constituency. Now it's time to prepare your constituency for the battle to save this country, to protect our constitution and to protect our democracy. Now it's not time to play. Let me tell you something. UNC supporters, there's over 300 plus thousand all you that vote for the UNC. There's a further 400,000 that didn't vote. Today, I am calling on you, the undecided voter. I am calling on you, the UNC voters. I am calling on you today to prepare yourselves for the 26th of November, no later than 10 a.m. to assemble at the Queen's Park, Savannah, following all health guidelines. Bring yourself. Call on your MPs to provide transportation. Call on your MPs, your member of parliament, to provide transportation for you. This is not a time for your MP to play. This is not a time for your MP to mamagai. Shake up your MP. Let your MP know that they doesn't have a voice in the parliament, and you who put them in office, you are prepared to be their voice on the 26th of November at the Queen's Park over at 10 o'clock. You will speak on behalf of your MPs. You will let the government know that enough is enough. Enough is enough. That is the day. That is the day that Trinidad and Tobago must stand still. That is the day that all the trade unions must come out. That is the day that the churches, the Muslims, I don't care who you are, that is the day that you must come out. I am calling on every Christian, every Hindu, every Muslim, every unbeliever to come out on that day and let us defend our constitution. Let us demand fresh elections in Trinidad and Tobago.
Let us demand fresh election. Let me tell you something. This is not about UNC, you know. If you sit down in your homes and feel this is about UNC, it's not UNC that licking up your democracy. It's not UNC that mashing up your constitutional rights. This is not about UNC. This is about Trinidad and Tobago. This is about the future of our children. This is about the future of our grandchildren. This is about the future of your unborn babies, ladies and gentlemen. What more could you ask for? How long again before you stand up against what is happening? How long again would the black people in those communities continue to suffer? How long again are you prepared to live in poverty? How long again are you prepared to see Stuart Young, Faris Al-Bari, Colin Imbert, Keith Rowley, Rohan Sidanan, Kazim Hussein, and these fellas live above in the king's palace when you can't even get a board? How long again would you allow your communities to live in poverty? How long again would you allow your sons to rob, to kill, and to steal for you as parents to survive? How long again would you allow this government to destroy this country while you look at race and while you allow race to captivate your mind, whereby allowing your children to perish? How long again would you watch Indian and Creole in this country? I remember in 1934, it took Cipriani, after he returned from the war, to mobilize Indian and African to stand against the colonial masters. It was Cipriani who started the Labour Party that were able to help those who were dying in the sugarcane industry, those who were dying in the factory. It was Cipriani that bring the African and the Indian together. In 1970, it took Rex LaSalle and Rafik Shah together with Makanda Daga and other individuals to bring the Indian and the African together to fight against the Eric Williams PNM at the time, whereby you, as the poorer class, could not have enjoyed the wealth and the benefits of this country. It took an uprising in 1970 to eradicate that type of behavior. It was a behavior where the politician continued to divide you by Creole, by African and Indian. And this is what this PNM administration is doing in 2021. Dividing us as African and Indian and continuing to rule this country, raping the wealth, the benefit of this country, while we watch Indian and African and they prosper, they move with the wealth, they take the best of the cream, they take everything, leave you without employment, leave you without a job, leave you with property tax, leave you without a laptop, leave you with no textbook, leave you in poverty. In poverty, this government continue to leave you, and yet you still speaking about the PNM. You still speaking about the PNM. People, the 26th November November, 10 a.m., 10 a.m., 10 a.m., be there, stand up, push back, stand up, push back, stand up, push back to ensure that our democracy, that our freedom, that our constitution take precedent in every decision. Let us remove this wicked, evil government from office. Let us put aside the race and let us run together to ensure that we win that race, that you and I, African and Indian, could win together, that we together could save Trinidad and Tobago, that we together could ensure a future, that we together will raise our hands in victory, that we together will sing with one voice, that we together will now have every creed and every race finding an equal place in this society. Stand strong. Remember the date is the 26th. Remember the month is November. Remember the time is 10 a.m. Let us fight. Let us stand. And together we will be victorious. Stand strong. Stand firm. Stand strong. Stand firm. I am out.